Welcome back, everyone, to the Limp Dickus podcast. And the Southside Cowboy here is going to get into some cowboy talk right now. Real heartbreaker on Sunday that really fucked up their seeding in the playoffs, which is the most disturbing thing about the loss. No. There were three really terrible things that occurred in this game, and two of them were on the officiating side, and the third was the offensive lack of execution in the first half. This happened on the same play with a little over 2 minutes to go. So the Cowboys have just used their final timeout. There's like 2:34 left. I was questioning a little bit why they took the timeout there, but whatever. And it comes into even bigger play now. First thing that occurs is the play clock runs out and no whistle is blown. And it wasn't like it was.
I'm familiar with that as a Lions fan.
Yeah, it wasn't like the snap was that close to where like it was like the stopwatch that the umpire was using was, a couple tenths of a second behind, so the play was clean. It was literally zero to where the crowd was like screaming.
The rule is that the mechanics of this are, and this has been broken down extensively after the Lions lost to the Ravens earlier this year, as the same thing happened. The mechanics of it is when the referee is looking at the play clock, he sees 00. He looks down at the ball. If it is, he looks at the ball. He looks up at the clock. If it says 0, he looks back down at the ball. And if it's not snapped, that's when they throw the flag. Why there's so much looking up and down, I don't know. Why they can't be able to use their peripheral vision to understand these things, I don't know. But there is literally into the rule, they write there's an extra beat past that 00 that is a leeway, which, again, for a game that is measured by inches, why you could have something that vague in the rules is beyond me. But yes, I feel your pain. The Lions were burned by the exact same thing. I didn't see this exact one. It was at least 2 seconds. There
were 3 to 4 beats on this one, and I had also always heard that there is someone keeping time on the field. So sometimes what's on the play clock isn't exactly what's on the person's keeping
I think
time,
that's for the
whatever
overall
the
time. I don't think they can call delay a game based on the stopwatch. They call it off the play clock, but they do have a stopwatch on the field for sure.
So that's injustice number one. A few seconds later, Chase Edmonds, on his way down to the ground, loses the ball. The Cowboys recover the ball. The ref decides to rule that he was down, blew the whistle, down by contact. Now, there's two schools of officiating that have begun in the NFL, and the top crews, whenever there is a loose ball, they do not blow the whistle.
They let it play out.
They let it play out because every turnover automatically gets reviewed. However, if the ref or the umpire or the side judge or whoever takes it upon themselves to whistle the play dead, you then have to use a challenge to get that ball back. And in this case, the Cowboys had just used their last time out, so they were not allowed to challenge because it occurred at the 2:12 mark outside of the 2-minute warning.
I mean, you're describing things that have happened to the Lions for years, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I know how that plays out. Yes. Welcome to SOL.
Well, no, let's, we can rehash the Des Bryant catch against the Green Bay Packers. So that it's, to me, they need to just make a hard, fast rule and say when a ball comes out, the play isn't the play. It's not the ref's
discretion
call to whistle it dead. You just can't in key moments of the game like that. And it clearly was moving. It was a no doubter. Like the booth was just like, I can't believe this just happened. And the ref didn't even have a good angle on it. He was on the other side of it, so he couldn't even see when the ball started moving. For him to alter the game in that kind of manner is it's just complete shit. And we see it happen over and over again. So, I'm just like you said, welcome to all of our lives as football fans, but they just need to like fix these things. Like in a college football game, they have the power. That's what's different. In college, they have the power to call down if they see something like that and review it, even if a ref did whistle it
I
dead
don't
on the
think they can
field.
if they blew it dead, because then you can't establish what would have happened from that moment on. That's the tricky part. That's why they shouldn't be blowing the whistle on close plays like that. Because it literally you can't extrapolate into the future what may or may not have happened if that whistle hadn't blown. That's the problem with it. So yeah, I would say they need to start erring on the side of not blowing the whistle, but then that gets into player safety issues. Like if he was really down and he didn't, they didn't blow the whistle and then somebody got hurt after that, then it just opens up a can. It's a fucked up system.
I
I get
mean,
it. There needs to be a little more clarity, maybe.
there just has to be consistency, because there are
Yeah,
crews that literally never they will not blow the whistle. You see guys pick up, run in the end zone, and then they
and they
confer
sort it out later.
and they sort it out, and they get the call right in those cases. Those calls
Yeah, because
get done
they have
correctly because
at
they
least they
review
have the
it.
ability to get
Yeah,
them right. They might not still get it right, but at least it's not something that can't be reviewed anymore.
yeah. So that sucked. And again, this is actually kind of funny. This is very reminiscent of the Tampa Bay game. The other side of this game is the game could have been tied if Greg the Leg didn't miss a like 38-yard field goal in his first attempt of the game. He again, in a key game, kind of screwed the Cowboys, because the game would have been 25-25 at that point then.
That's why I had to cut him long ago from my Surrender Cobras
I mean,
fantasy Super Bowl appearing fantasy team.
he's scored me a shit ton of points for a field goal kicker this year, but he's also
Can't count on him in crunch time. I beat you in the fantasy playoffs this week, so
well, I wasn't on that team of mine, but
I would still blame Greg the Leg for your loss.
but again, Greg the Leg makes that field goal. It's a different game. It might be overtime, might not. You don't know, but at least it's tied. At least there's a chance. So anyway, now we're the 4 seed. We're going to get one home game. They're playing Philly.
Is that
this
set in
week.
stone now? It doesn't matter what happens next week?
No, that's not true. They could still jump all the way back up to number 2.
Okay, you cannot get number 1. Green Bay's locked that in, correct?
Yeah, Green Bay's locked that in because, yeah,
I know they did. They absolutely did, because they're playing the Lions this week and they have nothing to play for. So
yeah, so if the Cowboys win, if they beat Philly, which has now been moved to the Saturday night game this week because Philly made the playoffs.
Wow.
If they beat Philly in Philly, and then Tampa Bay and the Rams lose, or is it Arizona now? Frick, I didn't look that up before we got on. I can't remember what happened because the Rams lost this week, right?
No, I believe they won, even though Matt Stafford threw his 4th pick 6 of the season.
Okay, so yeah, so
27th in his career, now making him 4th, tied for 4th all time in pick 6s.
Yeah, so it's
not that I'm paying any attention to Matt Stafford or anything like that, but
yeah, right. I know they need like they need those 2 teams ahead of them to lose, and they win, and then they can move back up to number 2. But it doesn't look great for that, probably. So anyhow, they'll be in the playoffs. They'll get one home game. They may even end up somehow playing Philly again in back-to-back weeks, which we've seen happen before. Except the second game will be at home. So, yeah, so it's disappointing. It was a rough weekend for me. I really don't have anything.
Yeah,
both games lost by a total of 6 points. Both teams lost. Actually, a total of 5 points, 2 points and 3 points. So
I've got another factoid here just to make you feel a little bit worse. That Kyler Murray, I saw, is now undefeated at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah,
8-0 between professional football, college football, and even high school football, as he played Texas high school football.
3 games there. 3 games he played there in high school. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Well, no, I said if Arizona wants to cut ties with him, he's definitely, we can pencil in 8 victories right off the bat.
He knows what he's doing in Jerry World.
He loves that stadium. So good for him. He was fun. He's a freaking fun dude to watch when he's healthy, and he was definitely healthy in that game. He broke off. He did some big runs when they needed him late. I mean, it's like, fuck, you knew it was coming, and they just still couldn't fucking stop him. I mean, he's good. I like watching him play. So.
Word Hole Media.